Well, today's the 24th of January, 2020. It's a little nicer weather today than it's been in a little while here. We had a stretch of very cold weather last week. Minus 30s-ish, wind chills in excess of minus 40. So it's really nice to be able to see this. I've driven my truck out here in the snow. It's a good thing it's four-wheel drive, but it doesn't have fantastic snow tires. But it's doing just fine. So anyway, this is just a little January update. You can see all the snow. Not a big snow fan myself. I think that's because other than snowmobiling as a kid, I never really learned to find fun things to do in the snow. The only fun thing I do in the snow is stay inside out of the snow. So the apiary is all snowed under. You can see the fence controller is not running. Of course, there's not enough snow, not enough sun to charge the battery very well, etc. The solar panel gets covered in snow. I've left that battery there. I'm not so sure that battery will be any good by spring, but it's there. We might have to put one on there in the spring. I'm not so sure that battery was much good in the first place. So, it's kind of a lonely place out here. Summertime is right full of bees, but wintertime there's not much happening. The next stop on the winter update is the bee barn. I must say my bees have looked better in the winter. I'm not crazy about seeing wet syrup at the entrance. I would prefer to see the cluster hanging down here, which I do see in some hives and not others. My thermal image camera shows that they are in, there's a thermal signature in most of the boxes, but you can see here even this cluster is not huge. Squirrels are crawling all over here. It's a pretty good cluster there. So I'm still hopeful for this winter. Let's see, then there's hives like this that can't really see anything on the bottom. But then if I point a thermal camera at that, I see bees up inside, or I see heat from up inside. So, got about a little more than 100 hives in here for the winter. My battery's going to go dead with this light on the camera. A few here. A few there. There's 40 in this stack here. There's 40 on the other side of it that I just showed you. And then the balance are over here. So not much to tell. Just waiting for spring. Hoping the bees make out okay. But it's hard to tell. But it's no good to be able to tell even, because there's nothing you can do. At this point, it is what it is. They're here. They're fed. They're treated. They're built up. They're housed. They're in the shed. And that's it. When I go to bring them out, I can put a shim under the lid here. I'll put maybe a 2-inch shim here under the lid. And then I'll throw a sugar cake on there. It's just sugar mixed with enough water to make it hold together, and then let it dry. It'll be like a rock. Throw that in there. That'll absorb moisture from the hive. And they'll pick away at that, and they'll eat that. That'll be some of their sugar, their spring sugar feed. because they don't get any nectar until late May when the dandelions come. I'm embarrassed to show you this mess. My shop is often a terrible mess, but this is kind of where I hang out in the off season. There's not much to do in the bee barn. There's nothing to do in the apiary. The bees are put away. I have to do my best to stay off their back and leave them alone, let them sleep. So the wood shop kind of gets some attention. Look at what a mess. Look at what a mess on the bench here. But clear off the bench. This is what I'm going to be doing. Building some frames. I've got my frame jig there. And I'm going to build some covers and a few other sort of things. I think I'll build some mini mating nukes. I'm just going to build a quad out of a 10 frame medium. And I want to try some mini mating nukes this year. So anyway, this is everything that's here has nothing to do with beekeeping. It's to be honest, I was making some cutting boards here. Well, I made one, and this is sort of the beginning of a second one. It's just scrap wood that I had lying around here. It needs to be used for something. It might as well be a cutting board. So anyway, I have fun working with hardwood. I don't get to work with hardwood very often. It's all softwood up here. Got some nice walnut for these cutting boards and whatnot. So it's kind of fun. I like using my nice table saw and everything. Keep the skills up. I used to build some pretty nice stuff before I was a beekeeper, and I just don't have time anymore. Put together some new drawers for the shop. I have to put my drawer fronts on yet, but things are a mess, need to clean up, so I built some drawers to put equipment, tools, etc. in. So there's always something. Of course, there's honey to pack as well. Get through here. I got some nice red oak plywood here. I was making my drawers out of it. It's actually pretty nice stuff. So I've got my honey warming cabinet here. It's not running right now. I can put 12 pails of honey in there to liquefy for packing. And so that'll be a kind of an ongoing project. It's literally an ongoing project. Need to melt probably a dozen pails a month to pack and send out to the customers, farmers markets, craft shows, gift shows, retail, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, get to play with the toys, planer bandsaw, all this kind of stuff. It's not very well set up and it's a mess, but have fun, and it's warm in here. It's not warm outside, so we just work in here. I'm rambling. I hope this was the least bit entertaining to you, to see what I do in the off season. I don't find it very interesting, so I wasn't sure anybody would be interested, but it is what it is, and I hope you were entertained by it a bit. So give me any comments in the comments below the video, and we'll chit chat about this. Otherwise, have fun.